the guys called here North Coast Constrictors, and this is my sidekick, Max, my son. Okay, we're gonna pull out our latest reticulated python, who's still a juvenile female. She's a lavender albino sunfire. Now I've got my snake hook here. She has been very bitey, snappy, going for me when I open the cage, the enclosure. Now, I have been working with her, okay, so there is a chance that she's not going to go for me, but we'll see, okay. I apologize about the reflection on the glass, but this is the only room that I have, and that's the light coming in. So let's have a look and see what happens. There we go. Okay, so she's in a water bowl immediately, and she's coming out. Now notice what I'm doing here, guys. She didn't strike at me, okay? But you can see her, she's been curled up in a water bowl. It's very, very hot here in South Africa at the moment. So I'm looking at her, talking to her. She's checking me out. She's gauging the situation. This is what reticulated pythons do. They're the second most intelligent animal, snake, that have a king cobra. Now, a lot of people would just stick their hand right in there and try and grab. Okay, to try and pull it out. Now, my hand is hot. It's a heat source, okay? She's still, even with my retics that are fully socialized, I never just stick my hand in. What I do is I tap train, hook tap train. So what I've done now is I've got her out of a feeding response. And she's going, well, what's that? That's not food. Okay, so she's now out of food mode because retics are in food mode the moment you start open. But she's also going to be a little bit scared. So, if she's nice and cool, I've already got her out of the feeding mode. So now it's safe to pick her up and take her out. Okay, I'm going to change her water as well because she has been lying in the water. And that's because it's the middle of summer here. So this is, we've named her Valkyrie after a Viking shield maiden, okay? Because I love that kind of stuff. Okay, so let me turn the camera around this way so we get it a little bit more. There you go. Sorry about that. So this beautiful girl here is a juvenile, almost, not quite sub-adult, but juvenile, female lavender albino sunfire, okay? And you can see she's pretty chilled, okay? She's starting to get socialized. When after the first 2 weeks that I had her, she was ridiculous. She would strike the enclosure when I walked past. She would bite at me when I opened the enclosure. She would just strike out at me. Look at those beautiful, beautiful lavender albino colors. Now, she's a little bit skittish, so like what I do with a lot of my retics, all of my retics, not a lot of them, okay, I specifically do head training, okay, so that they are not head shy. In other words, what I do is I specifically put my hands over their heads, okay, so that they know that there's nothing wrong. Also give them a nice little scratch under the chin because they love that, they can feel it. And this I do so that she is not head shy. So like I give them like a little tunnel to go through like that, and she'll come out the other side, and for her it's perfectly normal, okay? And I do that so that if I ever, like if I need to do something, I need to administer some medication and I've got to grab her at the back of their head or something like that, and I've got to put a tube down her throat, or I need to stabilize her head and give her an antibiotic intramuscular injection, because sometimes that happens, you know. I do that kind of stuff. I have been trained by a vet, okay, so I do not do surgical procedures on animals that require anesthetic, but I can do basic medical procedures on snakes. When you have a collection like mine with as many snakes, you can't always go rushing to the vet because it would be very expensive. Now just to show you, and usually the baby retics are the snappy ones, but what I'd like to show you is that she's pretty socialized. Even my son Max, who knows how to handle retics, he's handled the big ones, and you can see He will let her move around freely, keeps his hands open, okay, and gives her a little. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is I also want my snakes to know the members of my family, my son, you know, so if there's ever a situation where I can't do something or be there or whatever, Max also knows not to like grab their head or block her or restrict her or grab her body. There have been occasions where the retic gets a little bit nervous, gets a fright, and starts getting very whoopy and wants to get away. And the thing is, you just have to do lots of hand movements, okay? You got to grab that retic and you just got to let it run through your hands, okay? All right. So right now she's all inquisitive, okay? But one of the things about retics is they know their owner, okay? Now she knows me better than she knows Max, and her natural instinct is, they're very loyal, their natural instinct is to come back to me. If I had to come stand next to Max, she wants to come back to me, okay? But it still doesn't stop her from being chilled and whatever. So guys, one of the reasons why I make these videos on these snakes, let's hold up a little bit there. One of the reasons why I make these videos on retics is specifically, I mean, everybody knows that ball pythons are very chilled, very relaxed. Retics have always had this rap of being very, very aggressive. And obviously, you're not really going to take a small retic seriously, but trust me, they're quite bitey, okay? The big retics, like I've got in there, and these two large ones, and they're still not even fully grown yet. They can still easily grow another 10 feet each, okay? They're only sitting at, one's about 10 foot, the other one's about 12 foot, and they can get 18 to 22, 25. I've even known one that's been 27 feet long. Okay, so the whole goal here is to show that if you socialize them from a young age, okay, and you handle and you gentle with the snake will in turn respond positively to you. It will not see you as a threat. It will not see human beings as a threat, which is what you want, okay? If you own snakes, especially retics, if you're a breeder / hobbyist like myself, you also want to enjoy them, okay? The retics for me are, I don't have as many retics as what I do ball pythons, okay? The ball pythons, when I handle them, it's just when I'm cleaning the enclosures. I've got a couple that are like my favorites, which I will hold. But like the retics are like my pets. You know, I still haven't bred, they're breeding this year for the first time because I've been waiting for them to get up to size, but I've had them for a couple of years. Female retics need to be 4 to 5 years old and at least 10 feet long before you can actually pair them. The male's a little bit younger, about 2.5 years, 6 feet plus, and they'll breed. Thing is, during breeding season, they become very, very aggressive. Okay, so what you see now is you see this retic around my neck. Not recommended, but this is a small retic, so I'm not worried. Okay, she doesn't have the strength to choke me out. But I assure you, once she gets to 10 feet long or even 8 feet long, she coils around my neck like this, like a scarf, and she decides that she's going to constrict me, and my hands are otherwise occupied or whatever the case is. You know, I could get choked out quite easily. So guys, there we go. Beautiful, lovely addition to my retic collection. I've always wanted the Sunfire gene. I love what Sunfire does in especially in lavenders, in albinos. This is a lavender albino. I'm going to be pairing her as soon as I've made some male golden childs. My golden child purple albino, and there's a female. When she breeds, she's going to be breeding to a motley purple albino het titanium. So we're going to get motley Motley Golden Child albinos, hopefully, or everything will be albino, because recessive to recessive is going to give you 100% het recessive, so they're all going to be either purple phase or white phase or lavender albino. Now, what some people also, it might be news to them, is that when you classify the different phases of albino in reticulated pythons, lavender albino is actually not a morph. Okay, lavender albino is actually 100% het for white, 100% het for purple. So it's 100% double het, white, purple albino. Okay, and then you get a lavender albino. But if you can see the lavender in her. Okay, you can see those beautiful lavender patterns down the side and on her dorsal, in and amongst the oranges and the yellows. It shows a visual expression, which is why people call it a lavender. Oh, was that a yawn there? Did she just yawn on camera? Okay, so she's getting nice and warmed up now because she's around my neck and she's been in a water bowl. Max, can I ask you a favor? Can you just go and empty this water out and rinse the bowl for me and put some fresh water in there? Thanks, my boy. And now she's getting warmed up now, so she's getting active. You know, when they're cold, there's not a lot of movement. But now she's out and she's getting warmed up and she's, getting stimulated. And I do this with all my retics, because although they have got ample space and really, really big enclosures, I don't like them to be in there all the time. I do take them out, I exercise them. I don't always put it on camera, I hardly put it on camera, unless I'm doing like an educational video like now. And I sit and I work with them, I let them go on the ground. That's perfect, my boy, thank you. Okay. It's good to get them out and get them stretched and let them stretch out their bodies, and also just to enjoy them, just to enjoy the snake. I mean, it's just so lovely to hold her and to just, if you're a dog person, a cat person, snake people are the same. You want to hold your scale babies. It's just one of those things. And she's our latest, and I'm growing her up. And when she hits 5 years old, and she's about 10 feet, by then I'll have hopefully a Motley Golden Child albino to pair up to her, and then we'll pair up and we'll get hopefully Motley Golden Child albino sunfires, or a combination of all of those in different, you don't hit all the genes at one time. Anyway, guys, just wanted to bring out this girl and show you, and also show you that perfectly safe around the kids. Okay, I told you, it's like my last video, pit bulls get a bad rap, some dogs get a bad rap, Rottweilers, Dobermans, bullies, Doggo Argentinos, and usually, guys, it's the owner that's bad. Okay, they train the dogs to fight, they train the dogs to kill. If you are loving and gentle and kind to these animals, then you will have a gentle, loving and kind reticulated python that doesn't just want to rip your head off. Okay, it's just one of those things. So always be cool to your python, always be nice and gentle, and there's no reason why you can't own a retic, a mainland retic. Just remember, guys, it is not an entry-level snake, it is an advanced snake. I highly suggest that if you're going to buy one, that you have already bought yourself something like a ball python, and you are 100% familiar with handling a ball python. I would then probably move on to something like a Dumeral's boa, which I've got over there. I'm not going to put him out because he's just fed the two of them, male and a female. A very, very big snake, a thick-bodied snake, bigger than a ball python, stronger than a ball python, but with a very, very similar personality to a ball python, but a lot bigger, a lot more powerful, and then maybe a Burmese python after that, or you can jump into, I don't know Burmese pythons, or you can jump into a retic, but get yourself a hatchling or a juvenile and let it grow up with you. and then it knows you, and then you'll have a beautiful, calm snake. All my other retics here, when I pull them out, they are just, obviously tap train hook them, and they're super, super chilled, okay? And you can enjoy your retic for a good 20 to 25 years, if you want it as a pet. And the more you feed it, the more it'll grow, okay? So that's just another thing to take into consideration. Not all retics are gonna hit 20 feet. It's all up to how you feed them, okay? If you power feed that snake, like some of the breeders I see on YouTube, and then you've got these 20, 23-foot snakes, those guys have power fed those snakes, and it's really not that healthy. 15 to 18 feet is sufficient, and then you just do maintenance feeding, like once every 2 to 4 weeks, something the same thickness as its body, maybe a little bit thicker. But the more you feed it and the bigger prey item you feed it, the more it's going to grow. A retic is going to grow. It's not going to stop growing. There's no stopping point, okay? It's going to take a long time to get there, but I mean, you can get a retic to 20 feet in 6 to 7 years quite easily, maybe even shorter if you power feed. I feed my juveniles once every 2 weeks, and I feed my adults once every 3 to 4 weeks, but they get a big meal. Okay, so anyway, time to say goodbye to Valkyrie over here. There she is in all her glory and her beautiful colors. And thanks for the help, Max. I really appreciate it. Showing the other kids out there that snakes are perfectly safe. Not all snakes are bad. In fact, most snakes are good. Do not do this with venomous snakes, guys. Venomous is out of the question, okay? Do not handle venomous snakes. I don't care what you see on YouTube. I know you see a lot of guys handling venomous, and they've got years and years of experience under their belt. And I also know a couple of guys that are now dead from handling venomous snakes, okay? One guy in particular here in South Africa, and by mistake, he got nipped on his finger by a black mamba while he was handling it. And he wasn't trying to do it for a YouTube video or anything like that. It was just a mistake, and he passed away. Black mamba is not our most venomous snake. The most venomous snake in Africa, South Africa, is the boomslang, but it's a backfang snake, and its venom is way more toxic, hemotoxic venom. Black mamba is neurotoxic venom, but the amount of venom a black mamba pumps into you is just phenomenal, and it'll bite multiple times, just super, super aggressive. And you've literally, if you don't get to a hospital and get anti-venom within a half an hour, you're pretty much going to be, knocking on the pearly white gates. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you on the next one. May the odds always be in your favor. Cheers for now.